Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makara. I'm right here in New Zealand, and this is the view right now, guys. Amazing. Let's tap in today. We're talking about entity attachments and guidance, and how do you know whether you are in presence of an entity. Now, in the spiritual spaces and communities, a lot of the times what we get is people talking about entities in a very negative fashion, like entity attachment or something that's stuck to you energetically, some debris, some level of toxicity, negativity, distrust, bad symptoms, dizziness, headaches, all this kind of stuff you'll find online. I want to speak a little bit differently and actually give you guidance on how you know that you are around a very positive being, a positive entity that's actually giving you guidance rather than siphoning from your attaching to you. So one of the signs that I've noticed is increased awareness and intuition. So when you have these little gut feelings and these moments of intuition and insight where you just find like 10 synchronicities in a row and you cannot explain it with your logical mind. You can only just kind of get a glimmer of it with your logical mind. But your right brain, your creative brain, is just pulling together all this musical ensemble inside your own psyche. You guys ever experienced that? Maybe some of you have, maybe some of you haven't. However, you will know because there's going to be a flow of messages in your mind, one after the other, and it's going to feel seamless. It's going to feel effortless. The kind of messages that you would get make perfect, succinct sense. Because you, as a perception, as a being, are able to translate that higher paradigm, right, through your physical essence right now. So this is actually very, very powerful. It's a very, very interesting dynamic that you can tap into. The second thing I've noticed is this ability to just shed old dogma, old baggages, old gunk. When you feel this need to let go of something or surrender something, this need to absolutely drop it, and you feel this kind of assistance with dropping it, okay? Which means that somebody's helping you drop it. Somebody's helping you clear this energetic pattern that you might be tapping into. Besides the added resilience factor of this kind of mental toughness or this willingness to move forward like a metaphysical bulldozer, like a juggernaut energy, besides that, there's a change towards growth. Your behavior will change towards the betterment of yourself. So, of course, you can get this from just living life. Like you notice your behavior changes through character challenges and different things. The nuance here is you start noticing that you're tapping into spirituality a lot more nowadays. You're like yoga, meditation, all about all of these different things that you might have pushed away in the past, but now you feel like there's a whole wormhole, right? There's a gateway, a portal opened here where I can start to explore my inner world and my spirituality in a very interesting way, right? It's a very interesting dynamic. So when you notice your behavior changing towards the better version of you, then you can start to understand that perhaps this is being guided by something, right? Some being, and that presence is being felt. And as I'm tapping into their frequency, I'm also being pulled towards these activities, like let's just say mantra chanting or something like that. It just feels natural to me, right? It feels like something that I'm naturally gravitating towards, not like it's imposed upon me, like you must do this meditation today or something like that, or like 3 things you're grateful for before you sleep or whatever, right? No, it's not this robotic maneuver, actually. You get this spontaneous rush, this adrenaline, this chi running through your veins, moving you, weaving you out of your normie lifestyle into something spectacular. The next thing I would say is this kind of unexplainable but uplifting phenomena, like just flashes of color or light, or just a nice taste in your mouth all of a sudden, or like a whoosh of energy through your body, like a vitality or a sense of calmness or a change in your nervous system. That's very drastic. Like you notice you go from fight or flight to just calm, right? That's usually an entity trying to help you or give you wisdom or guidance, right? And this is different for different people because we all live in different cultures, right? And so you have different myths, different stories of your culture, different archetypes that you've grown up around. So maybe you're African, you grew up in the Yoruba tradition, perhaps you're Tibetan, you love Vajrayana Buddhism, perhaps you're Indian and you love Hinduism and the deities there. So it's really up to where you were raised and how you've experienced these different energies and beings, right? For me, I'm a citizen of the planet. I've traveled the world quite a lot, so I understand that I can work with multiple beings and different beings because I am able to basically match up to their wavelength, okay? Match up to their frequency. And I'm more so an audio shaman, you could say, so I'm more clairaudient in my skill. And I choose to really experience things on a very auditory level, like hearing things. And last night we went to a festival and Pete actually did a Reiki healing for me, and there he said it was the first time that he's chanted along for someone before through that healing. So that was a very interesting experience. And through that process, it's very interesting because what comes up in an energy healing in a process like that can be so varied and so different. But every practitioner, every channeler, every sage of this new age, everybody has their own special gifts, their own inner network and outer network. They understand that there is a very positive ripple that is going to happen with working with certain kinds of beings that match your theme of life. So hey, there's certain beings that take your life force, right? They're anti-life energies, right? But then there's certain beings that are supportive, that actually, they're giving you energetic fist bumps and high fives in a sense, right? And those are the beings that I love working with because they enhance your sense of beingness. It almost gives you a feeling of like, man, I have spidey senses now, I get the tingles, I get the, that thing going off in the head. And a lot of people can't relate to that, I guess, if you just haven't even delved into any intuition work or, clairvoyance work, or any of this kind of stuff, A lot of people, we just kind of look at it like cringe, like, oh, there's just gypsies, or like, oh, these are like tarot readers, or I don't know about these people, these psychics, right? And there's so many charlatans and weirdos and fakes out there sometimes that people get discouraged from this stuff. But really, it's a healing and understanding of your own beingness. Like, if you have that judgment towards a person that you don't know, perhaps you were also chastised in a past life like that. Think about it, right? The witches were burned. the wizards were kept slaves, probably, But now we are finding our power back. It is time. It's time for us to rise. And this is a timeline shift for all of us. So if you support this journey, if you support this channel, if you understand what I'm telling you, please share this with a friend, like this video, show up, join the community, join the tribe. We are Primal Sutra. All right, to end off this video, I have Ryan G over here.
Yep.
Ryan G, when you first started this journey with me, years ago, and you first found out about entities and stuff like this, what was your reaction then, and what is your reaction now?
What was my reaction then? Curiosity. Now my reaction is, of course it is. That would be the long and short of it. The more fun answer would be, I love the paranormal, but when I found out through the things that we're doing, we can actually create a more optimized spirit team, spirit guide team. It became my personal mission to find the deities that can work well with me in order to achieve whatever I'm meant to achieve in this lifetime.
Alright.
Yeah, that would be it.
What would you say to people who think like entities are negative beings and they just siphon energy and they're just all bad? Is that like discrimination, or what would you say that is?
Discrimination. I mean, discrimination is a bit of a trigger word. But,
What would you say that is?
If
Is it people's
want-
projections or?
here's the
what-
thing, I'll answer it in my way.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have friends on the other side. Because what I cannot do in this life, or this dimension, this human dimension, and it can be done easier in another dimension, just causing something to be more optimal, more successful, more profitable for me, then I will get it done. Initially, let's say the more shadow-like entities, I thought it was merely evil, only to find out, no, there's more nuances to this.
Yeah.
Let's take a chord, one of my more favorite devouring beings. Now every time there's some weirdness in my environment, I ask him for help. And then as the devouring snake that he is, he just devours anything. So just because something's not necessarily jelly doesn't mean it's bad. What it is
Right.
how well do you understand them and how well can you work with them?
Right.
And overall would be make it pragmatic.
Yeah. And also trust in your skills of connecting with these beings. Like, you have to kind of, first of all, get the ball rolling. It's like with anything, it's practice, right?
That is
And so when you first start working with certain beings, or you get introduced into very weird spiritual encounters, you won't understand a lot of it, but you just have to, what we say is embrace, appreciate, and apply, right?
No, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because shit will happen. You
Yeah.
have no choice. But let's just make a positive affirmation. Everything will be okay. You have no choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Somehow it will work out. You have no choice.
Right.
It's inevitable.
All right, guys. Thank you for tapping in. This is Primal Sutra. Amazing view. Let's go. Upward
Yeah,
Spiral
good.
Gang. May we never be the same again.